तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। श्री चैतन्य मनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतः पदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च। नमो ओं विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामीति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। वञ्चाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा. So welcome all of you all for today's session. So today we are discussing practical application of Gita, which we started last time. So today is like part 2 to that. So just a quick recap of what we did last time. So we were discussing the topic of akarma. This is how we started the discussion. So what is akarma? Anyone remembers?
There's three. One which is
One, yes, good, yes. Akarma is neutral. There is good, bad also. So what does neutral mean? What does akarma mean?
you do it with the intention of serving God.
Perfect. Full marks. Yes. And what happens with that? Why do you have to do that?
Because that neutralizes all your...
Yes, it neutralizes all your other karma, good and bad both. And then you don't get further reactions to it. So this is called akarma. Okay? And we saw this akarma is also called yoga. And the name of akarma is yoga, your connection with God. Very good. So we give you this example of why to connect. I'll give you a simple example. All of us love hair, na? I don't have. I've shaved my head. But everyone loves their hair, right? I mean, you spend so much time, making your hair and everything. But imagine, you're eating food, and in that food, vati of dal, you find your hair. How does it feel?
Taste gone.
Huh?
Taste gone.
Taste is gone. You feel really bad, na? So now, the question is, it's your hair. As long as the hair was on your head, you are like really in love with that hair. Now that hair is in your food, why are you getting irritated with it? The point is, because now it's disconnected from your body, it has no value. Understanding? So that means, as long as we are connected with God, our life has meaning, purpose. As soon as that connection is lost, it becomes meaningless. So therefore, the principle of yoga. We gave you the example of the fish, right? Fish, the only thing it needs to be happy is water. So for us, our connection with God is that water. It is something that is that important for us, like water is to a fish, right? So this is what we discussed. Then we saw that there are 4 types of yoga Krishna mentions in the Gita: Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Bhakti Yoga. But then we saw of all the 4, Krishna himself says that Bhakti Yoga is the highest of all. It is the topmost yoga. Many reasons for it. One is Bhakti Yoga is the most practical. Right? This is a yoga which anyone and everyone can do. A child can do it, an elderly man can do it. We discussed this principle. Bhakti Yoga can be done from womb till tomb. Anyone can do it. Prahlad did it in the womb. Parikshit was doing it when he was on the fag end of his life, about to die. Anyone and everyone can practice Bhakti Yoga. The other yogas needs preconditions. For Dhyan Yoga, you have to go to the forest. For Jnana Yoga, you have to be very expert in studying scriptures. You have to master Sanskrit. All those prerequisites are very difficult to be followed in this age. So Bhakti Yoga is most practical. Then we saw, just like Windows, if you have to find out which version is the best, ask Bill Gates. Similarly, Krishna himself tells in the Gita which version of the yoga is the best. And we saw this verse where Krishna says, Yoginam api sarvesham matgaten antaratmana shraddhaman bhajate yoma samay yukta tamomata. Krishna says of all kinds of yoga and of all kinds of yogis, one who is always thinking of me, worshipping me, he is the highest of all. That is my opinion. And Krishna's opinion is not an ordinary opinion. Krishna is Bhagavan. We discussed that already. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha. So this is Krishna's opinion that the Gita, of the Bhagavad Gita, that Bhakti Yoga is the highest. We also gave you this example. The other yogas, they are also a way to reach God, but they are a gradual, indirect process. We are speaking about lift now. Okay? The other yogas are like staircase. Gradually you have to go, step by step, one yoga after the other, till you reach Bhakti Yoga and then you attain God. Right? So no one has the patience to walk staircase now in today's age. So what do you prefer? Lift. And Bhakti Yoga is that lift. And it is a lift that never fails. Hare Krishna. It will never fail. It is always there. Just sit in that lift, press the button. Very soon you are on your 100th floor. You are very close to God. It's that direct. It's that quick. In Kali Yuga, where people are very short of time, Bhakti Yoga is the most easiest way. Krishna tells in the Gita, Raja Vidya Raja Goyam Pavitram Idam Uttamam. Krishna tells in the Gita, this is the highest yoga, Bhakti Yoga, very pure and blissfully performed. Susukham kartum avyayam. Very blissfully you can practice this Bhakti Yoga. We also gave you this example. We gave you the example of lift. We gave you another example. You all remember? Another example we gave. We gave the example of sandwich. You all remember this example?
Yes.
Sandwich you all remember? Okay. So these things you all will remember. Lift, sandwich. Why did we speak about sandwich?
Because
Yes.
what is inside is what makes it that particular.
Exactly.
Not the bread.
Okay. So what is it? How is it related to Bhakti Yoga and Gita? What did we discuss? What is the sandwich example, analogy with the Gita? That you missed. Okay.
That the name
Huh.
is what gives it meaning. What is inside?
Yes. So what is inside?
Like a cheese sandwich.
That's understood. But in terms of Bhagavad Gita, what it is?
It's what we are inside.
No. That's not understanding. So, just like sandwich has 3 layers. Top, down, bread, in between, the stuffing basically. The sandwich gets its name based on the stuffing in between. So, Gita totally has 18 chapters. And the 18 chapters are divided into 3 parts. 6 top, 6 in between, 6 down. The first 6 chapters speak about prominently karma. The last 6 speak about jnana. The between 6 chapters speak about bhakti. So therefore, the way Krishna has placed these 6 chapters also shows how Bhakti Yoga is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. In the middle. This is what we discussed. Okay? And we saw that it's easy to practice, anyone can do it. Okay? So we also discussed that the process of bhakti is so powerful. If we keep practicing the process of bhakti, all our anarthas will go away. You understand the word anarthas? What does the word artha mean? Anyone knows artha? In Sanskrit, in Hindi, what does artha mean? Artha has 2 meanings. Artha also means money, but artha also means that which has meaning. That which has meaning is called artha. That which is meaningful. Anartha means that which is useless, meaningless. For us, the things that are useless, we have valued them and protected these things and kept. So in Sanskrit, there are 6 anarthas. 6 things that are meaningless to us, and we should all give up. What are the 6 things? Lust, anger, pride, greed, envy, illusion. These 6, do you think it has meaning? We may think that's the way we are programmed in this world. Actually, scriptures tell us that these are meaningless things. This will destroy our peace and satisfaction. Okay? So that will, yeah?
Pride and self-respect.
Oh, self-respect is different. Self-respect is positive. Pride is negative. Arrogance. There's a difference between both. Self-respect is something that's different. That is different. So pride means arrogance basically. That's what it means. Not the, you have a positive pride also. Pride in your heritage, not like that. The pride here refers to arrogance. So lust, greed, arrogance, envy, illusion. These are things that will never benefit us at any point in life. So, we should be able to give these 6 up, right? And how do we do it? By the process of bhakti. So just like we take bath every day, or we wash our clothes, our heart is filled with all these impurities. Is it or not? It's filled, na? At least my heart is. Right? Our hearts are filled with so much impurity, lust, anger, so much is there. How do you clean your heart? Will you drink surf powder? How will you clean your heart? Therefore, you have to take to Bhakti Yoga. Cheto Darpana Marjanam. When we keep chanting Hare Krishna, when we keep doing this process, all our hearts will get purified. I gave you this example of how Srila Prabhupada started ISKCON. Prabhupada went to a Western country and people are used to a life like this. You know, freedom, the land of freedom, US. What does the land of freedom mean? You're free to do every sin. No one to stop you, no one to question you. And people who are addicted to so many wrong things, Prabhupada changed them into pure people. How did Prabhupada do that? He gave all of them the process of bhakti, the process of chanting. So when we keep chanting, when we keep practicing the process of bhakti, all these anarthas go away and gradually we become more and more attracted to Krishna. We gave you this example of magnet and iron filings. You remember this? Iron filings naturally get attracted to a magnet. But if the iron filings are covered with rust, they will not get attracted. So you have to take a salt paper and scrap all that rust, then the natural quality will come. So similarly, inherently as Atma, we all are supposed to be attracted to God, naturally. But now we are not. We are attracted to the things of this world more than the process of bhakti. So therefore, Bhakti Yoga is also the process of scraping all these anarthas, purifying it. The more we practice it, the more we'll get attracted. The more it will become natural for us. You are understanding? Right? So now certain misconceptions people have, about spirituality. Certain misconceptions. The first misconception people have, people feel that to practice spirituality, you have to become a monk. So people feel that, Prabhuji, for you it is very easy. You don't have a family, right? We have a family, right? Practicing spirituality, sitting in the temple is very easy. We have a family, we have responsibilities, we have to shift home, we have to do so many things. How do you practice bhakti? Right? So, the answer to this is, was Arjuna a monk? Was Arjuna a monk? If you all know Mahabharata, Arjuna was not a monk. Arjuna was a married person, right? He had a family, he had wives, he had children. And he was not like an ordinary person also. He had a very responsible post. His decisions would matter to the entire world. That's the impact Arjuna had. So why did Krishna choose Arjuna to give Gita? Krishna could have spoken Bhagavad Gita to Narad Muni, who's a sannyasi, or any other sadhu. Why did Krishna choose Arjuna? Because Krishna wanted to tell all of us that if Arjuna, being a grahastha, being a responsible man, having a family, having a career, he could take time to hear Gita, practice Gita, why can't others do it? Why can't others do it? So therefore, Arjuna was not a monk. Bhagavad Gita can be practiced by anyone, everyone, being at home, handling family responsibilities also. Right? This is the first misconception people have. Second misconception, yeah, you can say misconception or you can say excuse. not a misconception, it's more of an excuse. The second excuse, people don't want to take up spirituality. They will tell you, I have no time. Second excuse, I have no time. It takes too much time, spirituality, I have no time. We were discussing this, I think, in the initial classes. Irony of today's world is, you have fast watches, smart watches, everything is quick. See, previously you would have to wash your clothes literally in the bathroom. Now you have washing machines, it saves time. Right? Previously, to make a phone call, you have to walk a long distance to actually pick up a phone call. Now it's right, you can do everything. Previously, internet, you have to go to internet cafe, surf. Now it's there, right on your mobile, fingertip. Everything is quick. All this is done so that we can have time. But in spite of all this, no one has time. Again, previously, you have to travel, sit in bus, move in train, this, that. Take a flight now, push. Go anywhere you want. But still no time. And especially when it comes to spirituality. People have time for every other thing. Every other thing people have time. They have time every day to watch Facebook, Insta, this, that, everything. But they don't have time for spirituality. They don't have time for God. They don't have time for themselves. They don't have time for themselves. So when it is said that remove time for spirituality, it is for you. So that means you are so much caught in the rat race, in running, that you have forgotten why you are doing it, for whom you are doing it. So this is a very big excuse and misconception people have, that it takes too much time, I have no time. So Krishna is not asking our work time. He is asking us the time that we waste in so many other things. You have to cut down on all that. Right? If we can cut down on those things, we can actually remove time for this. And again, the setting of the Gita. Krishna spoke Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, and where did Krishna speak it?
Battlefield.
And if you all know the setting of the Gita, of the Mahabharata, the conch shells were blown on both sides. Conch shells were blown, matlab war is about to start. In that situation, Arjuna heard Gita. Now, are any of us that busy that we are right in the middle of a battlefield? There's war, conch shells blown. Are we that busy? Is anyone that as busy as Arjuna? Such big responsibility you're going to, what you're going to decide now is going to decide the fate of the entire world. Is that your situation? Are we that responsible? None of us are. Yes.
Another parallel I took out from this example was that Arjuna was a warrior. His job was, a warrior. So he was right in the middle of his job. In the most serious part of what his job description is. And that's the time when the message came to him. So when we are at work, we say, look, I'm very busy, I've got a lot of these things to do. The parallel for me was that, look, even at the highest point of your career, you can still get time to listen to
Exactly.
the message and absorb it.
Yeah.
So that is something which I realized that
Yeah,
it's an excuse to say I'm very busy, I'm the CEO of a company, I have a lot of things.
Yeah, it's a question of priorities. See, Arjuna heard Bhagavad Gita because he knew that until he hears this, he will not even be able to handle the situation properly. So many times, people feel that I'm too stressed to hear Bhagavad Gita. It should be the other way around. Because you are too stressed, you have to hear Gita. Otherwise, how will you come out of your stress? You're going to take stress pills, what are you going to do? You have to hear Gita. Arjuna was very stressed. That's the time he hears Gita. So people, it's like saying, I'm too sick to go to the doctor. If someone says, I'm too sick to go to the doctor, cured. You remain sick only. If you're too sick, go to the doctor. Understanding the point? So if we are stressed, that means we have to hear Gita. If you say that I'm too stressed to hear Gita, how will you come out of stress then? How will you ever come out of it? So this is a very big excuse that we keep giving ourselves, and we keep cheating ourselves of the royal actual opportunity to progress in spiritual life. The third biggest misconception people have, people feel spirituality is for elderly people.
Yes.
People feel spirituality is a retirement program.
Yes.
People feel that I'm too young to take up spirituality.
Yeah, somebody told me that just.
Yeah, people tell that. You're too young to take up spirituality. But spirituality is not a retirement program. It's an active life. We are learning so many things. When someone goes to school, college, you have elderly people go to school, college, or young people? Young people. Why? Because that's the time to learn. Gita is a learning. It's a big university of its own. Now, when are you going to learn all this? I mean, it's not that elderly people can't take up. They can definitely take up spirituality. But the point is, if someone can start young, that's the best thing to do. Because learning happens at a young age. Right? So you have to learn so many things from these wisdom books. So if you start late, how much can you do it actually? Right? So spirituality is not something to be done when you're very old. It is something to be done as soon as you get the opportunity to do it. As soon as. Ideally, the Bhagavatam says if someone is 5-6 years old, he should start something. His knowledge should start, his journey should start in this. By the time you reach adulthood, you'll become a great devotee. So you have the example of all these great saints. Parikshit Maharaj, the grandson of Arjuna, he was cursed that he will die in 7 days. Because Parikshit, from his childhood, he got training from his grandparents, the Pandavas, Arjuna, in the process of bhakti. So when he came across a crisis in his life, when he was quite young also, Parikshit could handle it. Because the training was there, that kind of systematic education has been there. He invested time in it. So similarly, spirituality is an education. Krishna consciousness is an education. Best is if it can start young. Best is if it can start young. But if you are late, better late than never. That's the principle. Right? At least wherever you get it, start it. Right? So if we are anyway above 5 years, we are already late enough. We are already late. So we can't delay the process any further. We can't delay it. So it's not a retirement program. It is something to be done when you are young. Right? This is the third misconception people have. Fourth misconception people have about spirituality, Krishna consciousness. They feel that bhakti is emotional, sentiment. मेरा और भगवान के बीच में है, ये अंदर का मामला है. अरे अंदर का मामला ठीक है, पर बाहर भी कुछ दिखना चाहिए, है कि नहीं? Anyone can say, I love Krishna. You love Krishna, so do you chant Hare Krishna? No, I love Krishna. That to anyone can say. So the test of love is service. You should show, if you love Krishna, if you love God, you should have time to read the scriptures that he has spoken. You say, I love Krishna, but I don't like Gita. I don't have time for Bhagavad Gita. So what kind of love that is? If you love Krishna, then Krishna has spoken Gita. Why don't you read Gita? So it can't work like that. So just saying I love and I'm already a devotee and I'm a bhakta, anyone can say it. But we should be able to live a life also in that terms. So therefore spirituality is just not sentiment. There is sentiment in it, but the sentiment should also be translated into action. It should reflect in your behavior, there should be some kind of transformation that happens in your lifestyle basically. That's what it means. If that doesn't happen, then how is it? Yeah, please.
But if I'm living my life, like if
Huh.
I am following a current, right, and I'm selfless here, I'm devoting my actions to God. Why do I have to light up the diya and my love is in my heart.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, I definitely agree. The love is in your heart. But see, if there is love, then the love is shown through service only, na? Like if you say, I love my husband, but then if your husband wants you to do something for him, you say, I don't want to do that. Then what does it mean? How do you show your love? How do you show your love? How does a mother show the love to a child? By serving the child. So love means service. Understanding?
I think her question is coming more on the ritual aspect of.
Oh, ritual aspect.
That you have to light something or put a mala.
So we have a session that we do called From Ritual to Spiritual. I'll tell you one part of it. Just like, see, many people get irritated with rituals. Why do you need rituals? We are just spiritual. But ritual is a way in which you show your connection to Krishna. Just like you have a letter. If you have to post a letter, you need an envelope, na? How will you post a letter to someone without an envelope? So your emotions are within your heart. How will you convey that emotions to God? So,
You know,
yeah, so either a prayer,
emotions like this.
yeah, definitely he knows everything. But then, if you really feel that kind of love, you will automatically want to do something. You will be inspired to do something. I'm not saying it should be a flower, but it will come out in some way. It will translate into action. You will not be able to hold that emotion within you, right? A boy goes, even in relations in this world, a boy may feel a lot of love for the girl, but he has to show it also. He takes a flower, does something, does some service. So this is how it is shown. It's not out of the box thing. This is what we do in a general relationship also. This is something that will come very natural.
In a class in Bangalore, we discussed this ritual thing. So God doesn't want all these things, but He just wants to know how much time can you give me to light a diya, to put a flower. He doesn't need all these things, but you have time, 5 minutes, to light a diya and think of me, put a tulsi flower and pool and pani. There's 5 things that we lighting a diya. But that is a time where you are focusing on God, giving your love to Him. That's what we were told.
Yeah, there are many ways you can do it.
Yeah.
There are many ways in your...
I relate to what you're saying. Like when I'm down, sometimes I light a diya because then I keep looking at a reminder that it's going to be okay. There is.
Yeah. So as she said, there are many ways in which you can make that connection with God, right? If you love Krishna, it will translate either in you will want to chant more of God's names. It will translate like that. Or it will translate into you wanting to read scriptures, know more about Him, reading stories about Him. If you love someone, if you love Krishna, you will naturally want to hear more stories about Him, hear more pastimes about Him. It will translate into that, either reading about Him, hearing about Him. Or it will translate into making a beautiful garland offering to Him, lighting a flower for Him, right? It will translate in some way. We say in the process of bhakti, there are 9 ways in which you serve Krishna. This is called Navvidha Bhakti. Either Shravanam, hearing about Him, chanting about Him, speaking Bhagavad Gita, reciting these verses, telling others about Krishna. That means you have some love for Krishna. You want to share it with others. It's called Kirtanam. Smaranam, always thinking about Him, serving Him, offering prayers to Him, right? So these are the ways in which that love will automatically translate into. So that internal love will translate into an external form of some way in which you express that love, right? Expressing love is part of having love, na? If you have love, you will want to express it, right?
Right.
Who will say that I have love but I don't want to express it? If you have love, you will naturally want to express it. No one will have to tell you that. So that is what it means that bhakti is an emotion, definitely. But bhakti is also, so bhakti is an adjective and bhakti is also a verb. Understanding? Love is an adjective, but love is also a verb. It has to translate into action. So therefore Prabhupada would translate bhakti as devotional service. Devotion is there and seva is there. That's how it is.
Prabhuji, last week, just one day I was a little bit restless. So I was really amazed. I was very restless and the beads are, as you can see, just lying there. And I automatically picked up the beads and started chanting Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. And I have to say, it made an effect.
Yeah.
Because my mind was diverted from that problem I had into chanting Hare Ram, Hare Krishna, Krishna. That I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I felt so peaceful, so now I keep my beat nearby. If I ever feel anything stressed, start chanting.
Even if you don't feel stress, you should chant.
Yeah, well, that I do anyway. But
Then you will not get into stress.
Yeah, that's very true. But
Yeah.
Sometimes situations happen
Yeah.
that you think, oh, you keep on focusing on it, but if
Yeah,
you pick
yeah.
up the beats,
Yeah.
then that goes
Yeah.
away.
Yes.
That's what I found. It just went away, disappeared.
Yeah, actually,
That's
the more you start to love Krishna,
Yeah.
you will naturally be drawn to those beads again and again. You will want to pick it up and chant more. You want to, so that's a symptom that it's translating. Kirtaniya Sada Hari. You want to increase your chanting and your remembrance. Hare Krishna Prabhu. Okay? Can we go ahead? So now we are coming to a very important part. So till now was a little philosophy still. So now we are getting into the practical application. So now we are getting into the last part, which may take some little time, but it will happen quickly. The topic now we are going to discuss is how do I practice Bhakti Yoga in family life? In our day-to-day life, how do we practice it? 5 steps. With this, we will end the course, and after that, we will see what we can do. But 5 things. 5 steps. If you do these 5 steps, you are practicing Bhakti Yoga in your life every day, in your family life. Just like a person who is diseased, if someone is sick, what he needs to do to get cured? 5 things. First is accept one is sick. You have to accept that you are sick. Second is approach the right hospital. Third is in the hospital approach the right doctor. The fourth is the doctor will tell you to avoid certain things. And the fifth is doctor will tell you to apply the positive treatment. These are 5 things that you have to do to practice Bhakti Yoga in everyday life. Step 1 was what?
Knowledge.
Acknowledge that you are sick. So what does it mean? That means to practice Bhakti Yoga, we first need to acknowledge that I am suffering in this world without God. We need to acknowledge this. Therefore, the first session was when we discussed about the nature of this world, the place of suffering. If you feel that I am happy without God, I am happy in life without God, then why will you need to take up spirituality? You will not find the need. Who is the one who can appreciate food? One who is hungry. So in order to go to God, you need to have that kind of spiritual appetite. That kind of hunger should be there. Like all of you are coming every week because that hunger, that appetite is growing. You are hungry for something. So if you don't accept that you are sick in this world, if you don't accept that we are suffering, I need a solution out of this, then we will not take up to spirituality seriously. So we need to accept this, the realities of this world, that there are problems around birth, old age, disease, death. We discussed all this. Adhyatmik, Adi Bhautik, Adi Devik Klesh. So this is the realities of the world in which we live in. Right? So the sufferings in this world is ultimately meant us to realize that I need to make this connection with God strongly. The second principle is to approach the right hospital. So once you admit, honestly acknowledge that I am sick, I need treatment, you'll go to a right hospital. So the hospital here in our example refers to a temple. Temples are like spiritual hospitals. Normal hospitals will give you cure medicine for normal diseases of this world. But the temple will give you treatment for the root cause of all problems. The root cause of all suffering are forgetfulness of God. That is going to get cured. The spiritual dementia that we have forgotten that we are part and parcel of God. That spiritual dementia will get cured in the temple. So temples are like hospital where you will get your treatment, where you will get your spiritual dose of medicine, what you need to get cured. So we have to approach the right hospital. Temple is also like a university. Like right now we are discussing, it's an education program, right? So temples actually, there are deities in temples, but the function of the temple is also that people come there and they learn systematic spiritual education through discourses, to helping people understand the scriptures, decoding the scriptures. This is the purpose of a temple. So temple is like a university. Temple is like a mobile charger. You know mobile charger, na? Everyone uses it, right? So without that, you become very restless, isn't it? Mobile charge, you forget your charger, you're very restless. So temple is like that mobile battery charger. How often do we charge our mobile? Every day, na? Without fail? Without fail. So how often do we need to charge your spiritual batteries? Every day. So if you come and charge your spiritual battery once a year, what will happen? It will get drained out very soon. And the way the material world is, your spiritual batteries get drained out very quickly. The material world is like full. In one moment, the batteries will get drained out. So therefore, we have to come to temples and satsangs more regularly. We have to, just like mobile is getting discharged, you run to the charger. That's the way we should be running to temples and satsangs. We should be running. I have to get my charge done. Otherwise, it will get drained off. What I've gathered, all this, everything will just go off. I have to charge it. Again, so when the battery goes low, you get those signals, battery is dying off. So when we get those signals, God gives us the signals, your spiritual battery is dying, but we don't run for the charger. We don't realize it. And then the whole thing is drained and we feel very low, then we run for some help. We should be able to do this on a regular, quite often. Then we'll feel inspired and happy. So temple is like a hospital, temple is like a university, temple is like a battery charger, right? So basically when you go to a temple or when you go to a satsang, right? Function of a temple is where God is in the center. So when you go to a satsang or when you go to a temple, you get inspired to put those teachings in your life. So in a temple, what happens? A temple is set up in such a way that God is in the center of the temple. He is the master, He is the center, and all people around are working for His pleasure. That's what happens in a temple, atmosphere. So ideally, we should be able to replicate that atmosphere at home, like Nimi Mataji has here, right? So ideally, we should be able to replicate the atmosphere at home, where you make your house into a temple where you keep God in the center and all family people around pleasing God. That's why in Sanskrit, even the house of householders, the homes of householders is called an ashram, grahastha ashram. Ashram means where there is ashray, the family members are taking shelter of God. That's the purpose actually. So this is what we have to get inspired by coming to a temple to make our home into a temple. The third thing, when you go to a hospital, you go to the hospital, but you go to the hospital to meet the doctor there, na? Do you go to the hospital to take some selfies and come? No, you go to the hospital to meet the doctor. So when you go to a temple, it's great, you appreciate the architecture and all that, that's wonderful. But most important is when you go to a temple, to meet the holy people staying in the temple. Okay? Just taking photos of the temple and coming is wonderful, but that's not the purpose. You have to go and meet the doctors. So the sadhus, the saints, the devotees who stay in the temple are like doctors who will give you the dosage of medicine, who will inspire you to take up this process of bhakti. So you have to approach the right doctor. So who's the right doctor? Who's the right doctor?
Pujaris and God.
Yeah, devotees. But when you go to a hospital, leaving the temple example, when you go to a hospital, how do you identify who's the right doctor?
Specialist.
Okay, how do you identify a specialist?
Depending on my problem.
Huh?
Depends on my problem, like what I'm going.
Yeah, that's okay. But how do you know whether that specialist is bona fide or not?
How many
Their
followers?
qualifications.
You see his qualifications. So just someone wearing white dress, coat and having a stethoscope, does he become a doctor? No. So you look for his qualifications. You look from whom he has studied, what kind of experience he has, right? This is how you judge a doctor. So similarly, see, we saw the third principle is you meet a doctor. So doctor here refers to a guru or a devotee. So who is a guru? Not someone who's just wearing saffron dress. Not someone who has a big beard. Not someone who has thousands of followers. Not someone who can speak and enchant the minds of thousands of people. No. These are not qualifications to be a guru. These are just external things. It's there, not there, it's immaterial. What is most important is the guru should be coming in a proper parampara. He should have learned the knowledge in a proper way. He should have his qualifications authorized in a proper channel. Just like if someone says, I became a doctor on my own, who will believe him as a doctor? Who will take medicines from him? So now you don't take medicines to cure your body from someone who doesn't have proper qualification, who has not learned from a proper channel. How can you treat your spiritual disease? How can you cure the problems of the Atma from a person who is not in proper channel? So Guru can't be someone who is made on his own. No, he has to be in a channel. He should have learnt it from another superior Guru of his, who has learnt it from another Guru. So this is called Guru Shishya Parampara. So you have to come in a Guru Shishya Parampara. If not, the Guru's words will be ineffective. Sampradaya Vihina ye mantraste nishfala mata. If he's not come in a proper sampradaya, even if he gives a mantra, the mantra will not be effective. It has to come in a proper parampara. So this is the third thing, approach the right guru who is like the doctor to give you treatment. Now, when you go to a doctor, especially an Ayurvedic doctor, the doctor will tell you to avoid things that are not good for you. I mean, if you have fever, the doctor will not tell you that you keep eating ice creams and you keep eating this medicine. It will not work. You have to stop ice cream for some time at least, isn't it? For the treatment to work. The condition should be favorable for the treatment to work. Na? So similarly, the scriptures explain there are 4 things that we need to give up. First, we discussed a little about this before also in Vikarma. The first is illicit connections. Because illicit connections destroy purity. Wrong connections. So we have to give up. See, spirituality we are discussing about making our hearts pure. So when you are chanting and making your hearts pure, simultaneously you are having illicit connections, you are becoming more impure. So, stick to the married relationships, right? That's what we should be loyal to it. So this maintains a certain sense of sanity, so that you can practice. With that base of sanity, you can practice spirituality, right? So this is the first principle. Second is compassion. The second principle of dharma is compassion. And that which destroys compassion is non-veg food basically. So the second principle is, if you can stick to a vegetarian diet, it will be very helpful for your spirituality. Very helpful. Otherwise, foods of violence will create thoughts of violence. It will be very difficult to sit and chant Hare Krishna, practice spirituality with a peaceful mind. Because we are what we eat. If you eat non-veg food, then thoughts also will be like that. Will be very passionate, very difficult to practice spirituality. This is the second principle we try to avoid, meat eating basically. The third is the principle of giving up intoxication. Liquor, cigarettes, drugs. Because we are already intoxicated sufficiently, thinking that we are these bodies, already in our own set of illusion. And all the more you take more intoxication, then very difficult to pull someone. So this is the third principle that we try to follow, no intoxication. The fourth is no gambling. Because gambling destroys...
Welcome to Goa.
Yeah, welcome to Goa. I mean, they're right in the airport. Right in the airport, as soon as you come out of the flight, that's where you're welcomed. Casinos. I mean, Goa has changed from what it was before. So it definitely seems lucrative for the government for whatever reasons, but not according to what the Vedic principles are, right? So gambling destroys the principle of truthfulness. And the irony is, in a gambling place, all the other 3 things happen. It's a package. It's a package. It's a package. As soon as you go in this gambling dens, there'll be wine, there'll be illicit connections, there'll be meat eating, all the things will happen. You can't say, I'm a gambler, but I don't touch wine, I don't touch it. Because the environment is like that. You may not be, but as soon as you go in, you'll get succumbed. You'll just succumb to it. So these kinds of environments are very, very difficult, So we should try to stop it. If you are sincere, it will happen. If you are sincere, it will happen.
And which are the illusions?
Huh?
Which are the illusions?
Which are the
Illusions?
matlab, illusions?
Yeah.
Anything that takes us away from God is basically an illusion only, ultimately. Did I use the word illusion now in my talk?
No. Maybe I have.
Yeah. So I did explain about the 6 kind of anarthas, na? In that I mentioned illusion. So illusion basically means the understanding, the thought that I am this body, I am the enjoyer, I am I'm great, these kinds of illusory things in this world. So slowly we should try to give up. So the principle of spirituality is approaching the absolute truth, right? So we should try to give it up.
It's all the good things that we like that you're telling us to give up.
Yeah.
I like wine, I like gambling. I'm also doing bhakti as well.
Yeah, but you should do.
You're not doing enough. And you give us wine, but you do enough. Right?
Yeah, you have to do more bhakti. If you do more bhakti, then gradually these things will go. And also, you should have a desire to give them up. See, we may not be able to give up something. That's fine, but at least that kind of desire should come. And if the desire is not there, in satsangs like this, slowly that desire will come. See, all of us, as you said, everyone in this world, the conditioned people in this world, love to do things that destroy their spiritual existence. People love to do that. People love all wrong things. That's what the mind and senses demand, basically. But spirituality is a different current, which may be difficult in the beginning, but once you start developing the positive taste, you will be able to give it up very easily.
I mean, it's very well to say that, but everybody is around you is doing it, so you will be the odd one out.
Exactly. So therefore, you need also association. We are coming to that. We are coming right to it. Therefore, you will need to surround yourself with people who will inspire you in the path that you want to go to. So the association is the key. What you said is exactly correct. You have come to the point that I am coming to now. Association is the key. We are all products of association. So to keep right association is important. Like all of us in satsangs now, I mean, you all have been coming every week. You all have been coming every week because you all are finding something good about it, na? On some level, you all have find it's also giving you the feel good thing, na? If not, then how are you able to come every week? So because we have not experienced something, that kind of happiness what we are looking for, that kind of kick that we are looking for in spirituality, we are finding it elsewhere. But once you start experiencing this on deeper levels, then that thing will go off easily. Yes.
Lord Krishna used to do Ras Leela.
Oh, Lord Krishna's Ras Leela is different. Lord Krishna lifted Govardhan also. You do Govardhan lifting. Before Krishna did Ras Leela.
Steal milk and drink.
Yeah.
Have the same thing with wine.
So Krishna lifted. Oh, that's not mine. So Krishna lifted Govardhan. So those who want to do Ras Leela, those who want to have multiple affairs, lift Govardhan hill. If not Govardhan hill, lift this table for one day and show me. Then you do whatever you want. So you can't compare with Krishna. People say that Shiva drank poison. I will also drink bhang. Shiva drank poison. You drink poison. What is the problem? So you can't compare yourself. We can't compare ourselves with Shiva and Krishna. You're understanding? These are great personalities. Krishna is the Supreme Lord. Shiva is as good as Krishna.
So I'm saying
So they can be excused.
Huh?
I mean, just because they are God, they are excused. And
No, Ras Leela is a different topic. Ras Leela, we have a different session. See, Ras Leela is a PhD level topic. It's a PhD level topic for people in spirituality on that level. I mean, someone who's not started ABCD of spirituality, what he can comment on the Ras Leela of Krishna? So the point is, therefore, systematic education. People jump to that topic. People love to speak on that topic of Ras Leela, but you have to understand who Krishna is.
But what Abhi is saying, I often say to Krishna Bhagwanji This is true. Only few days ago I said, Abhi, आपके पास तो इतनी गोपियाँ थी, एंजॉय करते रहे लाइफ, मुझे एक बंदा नहीं दे सकते decent? मैं बोलती हूँ, आप तो इतना मजे करते थे, इतनी गोपियाँ थी, एक बंदा चाहिए मुझे कंपनी के लिए, कंपनी आप मुझे वो नहीं दे सकते. So I get annoyed with him. You're right, Ras Leela.
Yeah, I mean, for me, the
Krishna, you can't compare yourself with Krishna.
the point
You
I
can
was
compare.
making was not about Ras Leela per se, but the point was that it's okay to lighten up a little and, to have fun, like generally go. That's what I was referring to, not Ras Leela per se.
Got it. Yeah. I understand what you're saying. I understand where it comes from.
So what the ladies are recommending is that they can go to the casino maybe once a week and have one boyfriend on the side.
वो बॉयफ्रेंड मिले तो सही. अब वो कृष्ण भगवान के पास इतनी गोपियाँ हैं.
Correct.
So you become one gopi for Krishna. Krishna will be the best boyfriend for you.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
I mean,
Good answer.
every boyfriend of this world is going to royally break your heart.
Yeah, very
That's true. That's 100% true. And I mean, those who have had experience will have married, unmarried, whatever it is, ultimately, no one can satisfy us completely. Why the gopis wanted to do Ras Leela with Krishna, why they chose Krishna as their husband is because they were convinced that only Krishna can satisfy us. They were intelligent. So gopis they didn't want to enjoy with Krishna just for material sense enjoyment. They were great devotees of Krishna. To dance with Krishna, who can do it? Can anyone dance with Krishna just like that? They were like pure, completely in their spiritual form. So therefore, gopis are considered to be the greatest devotees. They are greatest devotees. Krishna would dance with them. Krishna spent so much time with them. So they are our role models, gopis. They are intelligent. They didn't choose the boyfriends and the people of this world. They chose Krishna. They were intelligent. So,
my answer.
yeah. So,
Now Krishna is my
so if you want,
You take Krishna go to the casino now.
I'll tell you, if you want intoxication, the best intoxication is to chant Hare Krishna. I'll tell you something interesting. When Srila Prabhupada went to America, Prabhupada was dealing with hippies. You all know hippie culture. Hippies were people who were into drugs. Boys and girls who were like completely stoned, completely into drugs. They were like LSD and drugs were like sold just like normal for them. Normal. They would just keep taking these drugs. So in those days when Prabhupada started ISKCON, the devotees wanted to get these boys and girls. They made a pamphlet. What the pamphlet said? Chant Hare Krishna and stay high forever. People take drugs to stay high, na? But the problem was drugs takes you high, but then it takes you so down, it hits you down. So Prabhupada and the devotees, they've preached like this. Arey, why do you want to take drugs, go high and come down? Chant Hare Krishna and stay high forever. So if you want to get intoxicated in the right way, na? Just keep chanting Hare Krishna. It's like intoxication that you will never want to give up.
Very nice examples you gave, Prabhuji. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, they touch. It makes sense.
Yeah. I pray and
Hare Krishna.
that Lord Krishna can help all of you all. Yeah, but if you actually embrace this path, then you will see. So you have to, as I told you all in the beginning also, you have to give this process a good try. The way it is expected. If you give this good try and then it doesn't work, then you can go back to all the ways that you have been doing before. But if you have not given this a try only, then you will be stuck with that only option. Because you have not tasted this fully. Right? So give this a good try. And then if you don't experience that taste, you can always go back. That way is always open for you. Right? So we need to give this a good try. Okay? Okay. So now the last part is, so we saw 4 things to avoid. No meat eating, no illicit sex, no intoxication, no gambling. The 5th part, which is the most important, is applying the treatment. Positive treatment. Right? So we are going to discuss 4 things. And these are like 4 very important things. These 4 things now, you should do every day. If you do these 4 things every day, then you are at least trying to live according to the Gita. You'll be able to practice Gita every day in your life, in your family life. 4 things. First is association. What is the first one? Association. So it refers to A. A refers to association. This is the most important thing. The most important thing. As I told you, we are all products of association. So it's very important that we associate with devotees. We associate with saintly people. If you want to be saintly, then what you have to do? Associate with saints. If you want to be demonic, then you associate with people like that. What we want to be, we have to associate with people who are following that path. Associate with saints. I've given this example of Vali and Sugriv before also here. No? Vali and Sugriv were 2 brothers, twins. Their story comes in the Ramayana. Vali became friends with Ravan. He followed the same footsteps of Ravan. Right? He started to kidnap others' wives. He started to do this, started to do so many wrong things. Sugriv made friends with Hanumanji. His life changed completely. He got darshan of Ram. He became a pure devotee. So who are our friends? Who are we associating with? Whom are we sharing our life with? Who are we sharing our heart with? Whom do we trust? Duryodhan trusted Shakuni. Shakuni killed himself. He killed Duryodhan also. Arjun trusted Krishna. Arjun got Krishna also. He got the kingdom also. Whom do we trust? Do we trust the Shakuni like people of this world? Do we trust Krishna like devotees of Krishna? Whom do we trust? This is something that's very important. We are whom we associate with. In Latin America, the Latin Americans, they have an example. They say that within our hearts there are 2 dogs. A good dog and a bad dog. Within all our hearts. And both these dogs are fighting with each other. You have experienced this fight between good and bad dog, right? This fight is always there. Right? Good dog is saying, come to satsang. Bad dog is saying, go to casino. All this. So now in this fight between good and bad dog, which dog will win? I'm not telling about anyone.
Fear the good dog.
Hopefully.
Oh no. Even which dog will win? In all our hearts.
September.
What?
Alcohol completely. Right. And smoking 2 months back.
You gave up.
But it was that.
Great.
That took me longer to stop because I've been smoking since I was 16.
How do you feel now? Yeah, that's what. Until you give up, you'll never feel it. Until you give up, you'll never feel it. What it means to stay without it. See, to get hooked on to something is actually you are giving the remote control of your life to someone, some other thing. That means your happiness is dependent happiness. It's an influenced happiness basically. It's not a natural kind of happiness. And this kind of happiness will give you misery because you are not able to go to where you want to go to. You are not able to do what you want to go to. You are not able to do what you want to do. You are going to be miserable. So anything that is dependent on the things of this world is a recipe for misery. It's a grand recipe for misery, which is going to happen. Everyone goes through. Those who get addicted to anything, addiction is a big misery. It's a big misery. They feel they have control, but they are helpless victims. Helpless victims. And you'll not realize this. People don't realize this. Only when they come out, they realize what actual freedom was. People feel that doing all these wrong things is freedom. Doing all these wrong things is making you a slave completely. You are a slave, royally slave. Okay, so coming back to this example, the fight between, in our hearts, is a fight between good dog and bad dog. Which dog will win? Bad dog? Which dog will win?
Good.
So far
Not
bad.
strong enough.
Exactly. The key is
Be strong.
the dog that is the strongest is going to win. Which dog will win?
The stronger one.
And which dog will become stronger? The dog that is fed the most. So that means fed the most. In our heart we have 2 dogs, good dog, bad dog. Which dog is going to win? The dog we are feeding it the most. If you feed the good dog the most, the good dog is going to win. And how do you feed the good dog? By good association. How do you feed the bad dog? By wrong association. So if you royally feed the bad dog, that is only going to win. Every time you're going to lose. Every time you're going to get succumbed. So therefore, association is the key. Is the key. Satsangs. So these satsangs, association with devotees, reading Gita, reading Bhagavatam, this is like the key. This is the life savior. If this is not there, everyone, we are going to just be royally lost. Just like, we give this example in a circus, you have this act called trapezium, na? You have seen this, trapezium? Those ladies, those girls and those men, they jump from one place to another, very scary to look at. I mean, if someone falls, he'll die, such height. But they do it very confidently. You know from where their confidence comes? Anyone knows?
Practice.
No. Practice is definitely there. But below there is a net. They know even if they fall, nothing is going to happen. The day you remove the net down, you tell them jump, no one will jump. How much ever they have practiced, they will not be able to jump. So the point is, the net that protects us in this world is association. If that net is removed, we are going to be major, victims of this world. So association is the key, and Krishna's mercy, you all are getting this satsang here, this opportunity, right? It's nice that you all are taking advantage of it, but please do take more advantage. We have more options for you all to associate, right? We have a lot of satsangs that we do in Panjim, Podorium, Talegaon. Our activities are full. We run our preaching activities on the 5th gear. We have a lot of opportunities for all of you all. So the more you all can come, the more you all take advantage, the more quicker you will make progress, right? Facilities are there, it's just up to you. So this is the first thing. Okay? What is A?
Association.
B refers to books. And here books means Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. Reading books regularly. See, here you all are coming for 1 week classes. Now throughout the week, what you all are supposed to do? Every day, read few pages of Gita. 1 shloka, 2 shloka, 3 shloka. Read something. And the same message will get stressed again. Prabhupada in the translations, is elaborations of Bhagavad Gita, Prabhupada will stress all these points again. Whatever you are speaking is from the books only.
I used to write. My mom used to make me write a page every day
Of?
of Ramcharitmanas.
Wonderful. You should do that.
I had to write. I read the whole thing.
Wonderful.
Thick it was.
Wonderful.
That book you gave, I bought the other day, was very good.
The journey home.
That book, we have behind it, under that was basically the course we had done.
The journey within, na? Yes.
Yeah.
That's the part of the same thing.
Who am I?
All these things are covered there, yeah. Yeah. So read good books, especially Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. These books will reinforce these teachings on an everyday basis. You'll get these reminders. It may be 5-10 minutes, but you'll get these reminders again and again every day. And books are the best friends that you can carry every time. You may not have a devotee always with you, but you always have a Gita with you. Open the Gita, see the Gita as your best friend, that Krishna is talking to you. And Krishna will talk to you. See, Bhagavad Gita is not a book. It is Krishna in the form of a book. It's Krishna himself. Krishna will speak to you. Anytime you feel alone, anytime you feel, I need answers to my problems, even if you don't feel it, just open it. You'll feel that connection. Nimi Mataji, I'm sure she's joking about it. Speaking about companion, everyone does want it. Everyone wants it. The best companion is to carry Bhagavad Gita. Once you get...
Next time we'll see you and I have to read the book.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Books are the best companions. They speak. Especially when you read Gita, you will feel Krishna with you. You'll never feel yourself alone. The solution to loneliness and the solution to all this is we need a friend. And who can be a better friend than Krishna? Suradam Sarva Bhutanam. And Krishna is there in the form of the Gita. He wants to talk to you. But where do we have time to talk to him? We are busy chatting with so many friends of this world who are really not going to help us. I mean, how many of the friends have actually helped us when we really need them? I mean, they have their own problems. How can they help you when you are in a problem? So Krishna is the one who can help us. Open the Gita, read, you'll find that connection to Krishna very strongly. Right? I told this joke some time ago. One of our very senior leaders in ISKCON, his name is, he's no longer there now. His Holiness Mahavishnu Goswami Maharaj. So he had visited our Pune ISKCON temple and he was speaking to the brahmacharis there. And one brahmachari asked Maharaji, I still feel the desire for companionship and, the opposite sex like that. So Maharaj told him, then get married. And this fellow was lucky to shock. He didn't expect an answer. Maharaj told him, get married to Bhagavatam. If you don't get married to the books, then you'll need a actual companion. But if you get married to these books, that need will taken care of basically. So books are something that we have to read on a regular basis. 5 minutes, 10 minutes, how much ever time we can remove. C, A was association, B was books, C refers to chanting. Probably one of the sessions later, probably the next week also, we can have one session devoted to chanting, the entire science of chanting. Chanting is something that's so important. This another way you can make that connection with God. As she said, she was feeling low, she just took the mala, connect, that's it. That's like when you're feeling low, what do you do many times? Just take a mobile and call your friend, na? You don't do that? Talk to someone, you feel much better. Just take the mala and chant. You make that connection with God. So God's number is this. If you want to dial God, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. You will never get the phone busy. He is always there on the other end to answer.
Speed dial.
Huh?
Speed dial.
Yeah, speed dial. Emergency dial, more than speed dial. Just call, Krishna will answer. So taking some time out to chant. How many of you are chanting regularly? Vijayji does one mala. Nimi Mataji?
I do one mala.
One mala.
But सारा दिन मेरा ये chanting करता है.
नहीं, पर माला वो बंद करना है. अलेक्सा को बंद करना है.
But peace.
या वो तो है. अलेक्सा को बंद कीजिए and you become that Alexa and chant. You chant on japa. So the mala should increase. You see, bhakti is a science. The science has to be done the way it is. If you go to a doctor and you tell, doctor, you gave me this medicine, but I will change it and apply it in my style, it's not going to work the way it will work. So the way the dosage is given, take the dosage in that same style, then you will see the effect. So chanting on hearing kirtan is wonderful, you should definitely do it. But on mala, you should be able to increase those rounds gradually. That's where the actual changes will come. So he's been chanting one round, you have been chanting one round. Anyone else is doing one every day? One round?
One, then no, then one.
Okay, not consistent, but you are trying one.
Try.
You do one every day, Madhiji? One? Okay. She is doing. Okay. The others, not very consistent. I would recommend you all, this is highly recommended, not even recommended, highly recommended and something that's very important, trying to chant and gradually increasing that number. 1 round, 2 rounds. Initially maybe 1 in the morning, then you can add 1 before going to sleep, 1 in the afternoon. Just try to add. And it's not difficult. We do have 10 minutes here and there. Just carry your beads along, just sit somewhere and peacefully chant. You'll feel much, much more better. Please try to do this.
Actually, I was doing it in Bangalore. Since I've been in Goa, I haven't done it.
You came to Goa to increase your spirituality. You should increase. You have made the shift. She's honest that we appreciate her for that. That's good. But
I'm doing satsang. That's first step.
Yeah.
Now I got to be serious about the rest.
Just take the mala, go to the beach and chant.
Yeah, while you
Anyway, just go to the beach. You have such a nice place here.
Yeah.
Just go and sit in the garden and sit and chant.
So is there anything wrong if I make a wish and I chant that I'm chanting for...
Yeah. I understood what you're saying. Yeah. Most welcome. Yeah. But try to chant more rounds. This way the real magic will happen. If you want to see Krishna's magic happening in your life, chanting is important on mala.
So can we all promise now we are associated together now? We are A, association.
1 round.
So
And for Nimi Mataji, 4 rounds.
Higher dose.
Higher
but I
dose.
do it. I'll do it as a
Yeah,
I
but-
feel it's important.
Yeah, you should increase dosage. All of you all should do.
Every time somebody chants a mala, please put it on the group.
Yeah, that can be a good system of accountability. Not necessary, but just that it will help you to come on track.
Encourage us.
It will encourage others and it will help you to come on track. Because for many people, the issue, as they have been saying, is sometimes yes, sometimes one day is there, sometimes one day is not there. If you make it a habit to put, as soon as you chant, put it on the group, I have done.
I'm the one.
We'll add you if you wish.
I like it.
Yeah.
But
No
if
force.
you notice, every morning I do put a message for everybody. I don't know whether
The
you
group
listen.
is only to discuss Krishna conscious things. There is no other chats that happen in that group. So this is what is going to be discussed there. There are n number of groups that you all have for so many other things. You all can be part of that group, quit that group. This group is just to help you all in bhakti, basically, in your
Let's
Krishna
do
consciousness.
that. Let's encourage each other.
Huh.
Let's all message I'm chanting. Let's motivate each other on the group.
So if you do this, then that is real actually friendship, where you help each other go closer to God. Those are true friends.
And because we all live, most of us live here, a lot of us, you could even fix a meet together for one.
Yeah, if you can do that, that's the best.
Chance.
If you can do that, that's the best. If you all are here in this place,
At the beach chanting.
yeah, or you can just fix a place here or anywhere else, just come together and just come and chant. 1 round, 2 rounds, 15, 20 minutes, just come and chant. If you can do that, that's the best thing to do.
Who lives here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I have a small Krishna temple right next to my house.
Where you stay?
Donapala. On Nagali Hills. There's one now.
On top, Donapal. You stay on top, above the hill,
Yeah.
on the plateau.
Yeah.
There's a small Krishna temple.
There.
I know this place.
So I go there and do it.
First class, that's a nice temple.
Small one, huh?
I know.
Very cute. Yeah.
I know all this area well.
So my house is just there.
Oh, good.
So I decided when I take the dog for a walk in the morning, I go and I sit there and chat. Doggies
Hardly anyone comes there. It's a peaceful place.
Nobody comes.
I know.
So nice.
Yeah. It's a good place, yeah. Just sit somewhere. If you can do it here, do it.
Where is it?
Please share the location of the.
When I go on the chatter shed.
It's a nice temple. You can sit. Whatever you wish.
Take a video, then we see it.
So when you go to a temple, they just rush you. Right, listen, Delhi or there.
Yeah.
They don't even let you
I'll show you
close your
the
eyes
location of my
and
house over there in the
acknowledge
temple.
and pay your respect. They just go.
Or you should
Yeah.
go to Tirumala.
Then-
Jargandi. Push.
Yeah.
Way over
What is this like?
No, but what happens in a temple where there are lakhs of people come, it happens like that
Then,
sometimes.
okay.
So-
Not going straight towards Nagari Hills, come down straight.
Okay?
Then over there is another one.